What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we've got a lot going on in markets, so we're going to try to touch a lot of different topics. We, of course, will pay attention here real quick to the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market, but the big events happening out there in the macro world of finance, dealing with the United States dollar and with the stock market. So those are the things we're going to take a peek at over there today. We'll briefly touch here on Bitcoin, but everything kind of ties back into the crypto market. We're going to bounce around and you'll see why. As for price action in the crypto market, kind of a little bit of a small washing machine happening over there today. We could see just in the last few minutes, as I started recording here, these are the 5-minute candles. We can look at the price action. 1 hour ago, Bitcoin was 39,700. Now we're 39,100. So about a $600 drop happening here in the last hour. Nah, whatever. We look back to time and we can see we've been in this range since January at this point. I don't see anything indicating to me that it's ready to start reversing its way up unless some type of Lambo candle just wants to show itself up in here. Otherwise, it looks like we're still just trending in a downward direction with no real reversal appearance coming out at this point. Like I talked about with Ethereum over the last 2 weeks, it's looking like a very standard ABC correction in here. In these structures, we see waddling happen for quite a while. If it continues following at its same time format, you're looking at May before we end up coming down and then starting on a C leg. But the optimism thing about something like this is what happened in 2017 that led to the rest of the altcoin market taking over dominance. So best opportunity based on what we've seen for an altcoin season to arrive in that moment heading into those retraces, which we've yet to have for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. So the crypto market is relatively tame today, but the bigger events happening, of course, have to deal with the stock market like we've been talking about over the last week. Having this level hold, it has felt like biting fingernails every single day, staring at this thing practically on the 1-minute chart, watching this thing to see if it can reverse its way out of here. For the last month, we've been looking for this pullback to occur. We have finally gotten it, but boy, do we need to hold it. Otherwise, it's a standard ABC correction happening in here. And then with these structures, as long as these levels hold, that leads to new all-time highs. But the bigger thing on everybody's radar today is what's happening over there with the United States dollar. The dollar is battling against the high that was set back there in January of 2017. At this point, it has gone absolutely parabolic at this point. But the question is, will it get rejected from the highs and start a downward trajectory, or are we about to see a breakout happen here on the US dollar? One of the reasons why it's interesting to look at the DXY is based on what has happened previously. Back here is 2017, back here is 2020 to early 2021. What happened during these time periods? Here's the 2017 Bitcoin and crypto bull run. Here's the 2021 crypto and altcoin bull run. As we've seen this DXY rise in here, we haven't seen much action come out of the cryptocurrency market since. So as we sit here at these highs right now, the question is, will we break out of here or will we see some type of big rejection? And a rejection, based on what we've seen, is positive for the rest of the crypto market. I posted this over here on Twitter this morning. The US dollar currency index, DXY, is rising and parabolic. It started peaking at other currencies and was looking at the euro versus USD and realized, I've seen this before. This was how the bottom looked in the crypto market before the big reversal happened after C19. So the DXY is a measure of the United States dollar versus a basket of currencies. How is the dollar's value holding up in relation to other currencies? Doesn't necessarily mean that the purchasing power of the dollar is getting stronger. You could have the value of the dollar going down in value. However, if you have the euro going down faster, if you have the yen going down faster, if you have a bunch of currencies going faster, well, who's the better performer out of all of them? It's still the dollar. And on this chart, you would see that indicated by an upward move on the DXY if it was outperforming the other currencies, even if it's becoming less valuable. And we're seeing inflation. A clear definition of the DXY would be the US dollar index is used to measure the value of the dollar against a basket of 6 foreign currencies: the euro, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar, the British pound, and the Swedish krona. So I started peeking at other assets, and I was looking at the euro, realizing that, man, this is exactly what the bottom of the cryptocurrency market looked like before the bottom came in and before this thing reversed out of here. So up here is euro USD. This is the euros measured in dollars. And we could see how this all played out in here in these consolidation periods. And then finally a breakout happening here, not getting above its all-time high, a breakout, not getting above its all-time high, and kind of just a throwback happening in here at this point, in which the value of the euro is falling in relation to the value of the dollar. But as we saw in here, that was the capitulation moment that came in here. And as this euro is moving down, this is going to make the DXY rise. But if we're right on the verge of seeing this bottom come in here for the euro, which, like with the crypto market at the bottom, we saw in ABC, if we're seeing that same thing occurring right in here, would indicate the euro's value is about to rise versus the dollar, and that this upward trajectory parabolic move happening over here for the dollar doesn't have much life left in it. Another thing I found interesting about the euro was how it had such a strong rise versus the dollar in 2002 through 2008, and that the pullback and this throwback accumulation, if that's what it is, if it is to hold in here, look where all of this is occurring at here for the euro versus the US dollar. This is all occurring right here on top of the 702 Fibonacci retracement level right in here, where we're getting exactly what the bottom looked like as the cryptocurrency market was wrapping itself up down there. So I thought that was incredibly interesting to see this occurring over here on the euro, to give a little more context to the DXY. And like if we switch this over here to the DXY and we look at that from an inverse perspective to kind of like take away our biases in there, we see the same thing happening, right? So crazy time here in the dollar, and the question is whether or not this thing is going to actually end up breaking out. So we'll take a peek at this as well, as we were measuring how that the consolidation for the euro versus the US dollar was happening on top of that 702 Fibonacci retracement level. If we measure that for 2002 or 2001 all the way to the bottom that happened there in 2008 for the US dollar, we could see we're not quite there, right? This major retracement level is still a little bit higher up there at about 106, and then the last retracement level is up there at about 110. Whether or not it's going to get up in there, or whether or not this is going to be more tailored to what's happening with the euro. One of the things I've shown on this channel a lot has been the breakout level and the measurement and the extension. We talked about it in yesterday's video. I've actually shown that here on this channel for years, is that the measured move for the DXY has already reached full extension in here by reaching out to this level, and it nailed it perfectly. So it's a super climatic moment happening, because if the dollar gets through this price level, if it has a breakout today or tomorrow, we're going to see the highest DXY value we've seen since 2002. This is the big event happening out there in the macro world. And what's funny about this is that we've been looking so much over here at the Dow. We've been talking about this ABC structure over here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and how after the B leg, it comes back in, it hits the 702 Fibonacci retracement level, goes on for a C leg. We're expecting the price to get up here to about 35,000, exceeds it just a little bit. We were looking for a pullback. We get the pullback to come through in here. And then we have macro events lining up at the exact same time. We have this exploding dollar happening at the same time while we're right here, right? And the idea has been expecting that pullback to get us back in here. But after this moment comes in here, what does the structure show us that happens after that? It shows us that the Dow Jones goes on and continues to rise and go into new all-time highs if it continues to follow this structure. So what would give the green light to the market to say, hey, it's now safe, everybody, it's cool, we can now go to all-time highs? Because as we've shown in here, there's no more dips lower. There's no more revisiting the bottoms. You get through here. After that, it's just go time, right? What would give the green light to the market to say, hey, it's go time? And one would have to think it would be that DXY getting rejected and the euro finding its bottom, as we've seen this do before. And we're kind of like right at that moment. It's very climatic. It's happening very quickly. It's capitulating. So it's like that big falling knife moment. And these are the types of moments where world events just happen to happen, if you get what I'm saying, right? Things just magically occur at just the right time. And these are the types of moments where you see them happen, right? So here we are, we're getting near the bottom of the euro. We'll see what type of world events magically show up. as we approach this. And if those things turn out to be true, if what we're seeing over there on the euro is accurate, and that when we see the DXY turn around and reverse like that, that's positive for the crypto market. So it's a fingernail biting moment, right? The Dow Jones, it needs to hold that level for that structure to keep going. If it breaks out into new all-time highs, I've shown it too many times to count. That's positive for the crypto market based on history. A falling DXY in relation to the other basket of currencies is a positive thing for the cryptocurrency market. But as you can see, it's a high intensity moment out there right now, waiting to see if any type of reversals are going to happen at these pivotal moments or any type of breakouts or breakdowns. So this whole week has been fingernail biting. I've been staring at charts. I've been looking at stuff on the 1 minute chart. I rarely am ever doing that. I find it very uncommon to have certain moments in history where things require so much attention and that they're so pivotal. And I think we're in that moment right now. I'm not sure if the whole world realizes that, how big of a moment this is that's happening right here in markets, but it's huge. And I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time. But that's it. I'm going to wrap this thing up. These are the things that I'm paying attention to today. These are the big macro element pictures that are important to me that I pay attention to right now. So that's where all my attention is for the rest of the day. I'm going to wrap this up super quick. My son is home. He's got 103-degree fever. My daughter has a dentist appointment this morning. She's saying she doesn't feel good either. So the whole house is full on a Thursday, and I'm on daddy duty. So all right, guys, these are the things I'm watching. I'll be over here on Twitter if anything crazy happens. But on that note, I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.